I'm here with David Hewitt, Global Head of Energy Research at Credit Suisse. Good morning, David.
Hi there.
Thanks for joining us. To kick off, I'd just like to know, in your opinion, what you think the key differences are this year in the LNG market.
Well, I was here last year. I think there were three key changes from conversation at that time. The first is Shell put out what I would describe as a relatively optimistic or bullish outlook for LNG balance, seeing it in the early 2020s and driven partially by new LNG demand. I think they're partially correct, but I think there's a risk that people become overly optimistic and that maybe 10 countries that are talking about becoming LNG importers, maybe 2 become a reality. That's the first thing. The second thing is exactly the reverse or the inverse, and that is Qatar's decided to go from 77 to 100 million tons. That's a significant supply shift from where we were. The third thing that I think is important is in Japan, we've had a legislation around destination restriction clauses, and that will probably have significant reverberations around contracts in Asia.
Okay. And what would you say the biggest challenges currently facing the gas industry are?
Well, I think, in LNG we're moving into a period of potential excess, but we're already talking about the tightness thereafter. I think we need to go through that initial pain, and so we're going to have difficulties around pricing. And if pricing is stretched, in other words, contract prices differ significantly from spot prices, that will bring inevitable pressure into contracts and contract sanctity.
Absolutely. And you were just speaking on a panel in the session. This is our first gas day. What have your main impressions been of the day so far?
Well, the thing is with LNG conferences and gas conferences is people tend to have relatively similar views, so you're looking for the differences, the new nuance that you hear. One of the things I heard on the panel that I was on was that the Algerian suppliers are thinking about JVing with traders to have more reach and availability for their LNG sales. That's an important development, I think.
Okay. Thank you very much, David.
Pleasure, thank you.